Hey everybody, Trendy John here at Simpler Trading. I want to go over a few looks at the SMH, so Semiconductor ETF. I'll take a quick look at Nvidia and then AMD and give you my analysis and my opinion on what's to come. So first of all, we're coming into a new year. The markets come this morning into a little bit of demand. We saw a really nice push from one of our future trades where we got in at 59.26, currently trading at 59.80. Again, great push, but the push is it enough to get the entire market to move in the right direction? So I will tell you this before I lead into these charts. I'd really like to see that the market can get over 6,040, and that's on the ES futures. Right now, this is just what we consider a relief bounce. Now, a couple things here on the SMH. You'll notice that over a long period of time after prices came up and hit one of our targets here at 260, we've basically went sideways since October. And because of that, my first thought is if prices come down towards the 240 range, we sell put credit spreads. If for some reason we can sustain and start to move over the 248 level, then I would really like to see prices continue up towards 252 and then into 260. Of course, it's just sideways action here. So if you like selling credit and you like the idea of iron condors, then I would concentrate on these two levels here. And there's two trendy edges. They may be hard for you to see, but it's these purple levels. And I would sell a couple weeks out. Basically, those levels are 250 by 255 to the upside. And to the downside, I would be looking at 230 or 240 to 235 to the downside. All right. And again, that would be selling credit on both of those. And really, what I'm looking at is for prices to stay in here until they don't. Now, if that's not your cup of tea, you don't like selling credit, what I would say from here is it really is stuck between two opposing zones. So this is supply, this is demand here. And you can see if I were to draw a line here, we're right in the middle. And so this is why I like the idea of selling credit. And again, this is going into the next several weeks. Now, we do have financials that are going to be reporting soon. And I think that really starts to set the tone and whether or not this middle or this really neutral turns into a move or an opportunity to buy lower, or if indeed it pushes up higher into the levels I just gave you. For right now, very neutral. So, where does this leave us? Well, we can take this weekly chart and we could break it down into a smaller time frame. So, you could see today from a daily perspective, we are still underneath the cloud. We are above the SMA, the 200 simple moving average, and that's a good thing. And I like to see it above there, but we are running into resistance here. Now, this morning, just a kind of off topic, I sold naked puts on NVIDIA. I've already covered those. And again, the reason why is because the overall market here, nice bounce, but coming into a little bit of resistance. SMH, a little bit of resistance as well. But some of you may be looking for a little bit quicker and faster trade. And that's where I'm going to bring you into the idea of the 4-hour chart. So right in here, we're going to select 4 hours. And again, this is going to be on SMH. And this is for the person who's looking to take profits in anywhere from tonight into, I would say, Thursday morning. So Thursday morning, we have a catalyst out there, initial jobless claims. And this is what I'm going to tell you. If for some reason prices stall here at around these levels, so around 248, I'd be looking for a short opportunity back down towards the 245 level. But in here, 245 to 244, this is where I'd cover because then I'm looking for a bounce again. I think we come up, we hit this area, we reject a little bit, and then we come back and try again to make a higher high. Basically, this is what I'll tell you. As long as this level right here holds, okay, this would be your risk, if you will. So 244.5 needs to hold. And as long as it holds, I am looking for prices to move up towards that 250 to 255 range where I think you could sell some call credit spreads. Of course, momentum can change. A lot of things can change in the market. But let me go ahead and draw what I believe what we're seeing right now. So price push up into here, which we have a little bit of structure. We pull back, we find buyers, and then we try to make our way up here, and then we come into Thursday's econ data, and this will set the tone. This will either put us back down to this level or back above into this level over here, where then we would break closer to breaking that credit above the 255 level. Okay. Overall, though, pretty much neutral on SMH. Now let's get over to NVIDIA and take a look there. I covered this in our session this morning. Nice push so far. Again, I sold some naked puts. I've already covered those for profits. And you can see this is already playing out. So we have the trendy edge here. This is a trendy edge, and it would be the same way as SMH, right? As long as this holds, I'm looking for these targets up here towards the 141, 142, and then 144. Now, in the trendy room, this is what we call an AC/DC setup. We're getting very close. The only issue that I have here is that we're coming into the end of the month, so we're going to have new levels. For right now, I would just be aiming for the 144, and if momentum continues into January, you could see 150 plus. Okay, so what's the trade plan going into tomorrow? Well, tomorrow, most likely, what I'm projecting is that we at least hit here, possibly by the end of today's session. So tomorrow when you wake up, if you get the opportunity, I would be trying to look to buy the dip somewhere between 140 and 138 and a quarter. And then I would be trying to run that up into the 144 level. All bets off if we close below these trendy edges. So this is your overall risk if you're looking to swing this. I don't want to see prices fall below this zone. So 133.76. A close below there would void out the idea of this trade. If you're not looking for 4 hour, well, that's okay. We can look for the daily and the weekly. The weekly is just now starting to regain the EMA cloud. This is a great look. We do have some topping wicks in here. Market also coming into a little bit of resistance and so forth, but it looks beautiful. It really does. So tomorrow on a dip, look for the buy. Look to see if we can get up towards the 144 level. Listen, if NVIDIA is going to break through the 144 area, I'd be careful about that credit selling that I was talking about on the SMH. Only do that if that lines up with your overall risk tolerance. Overall, things are looking pretty good for a push into the end of the year as we came into that demand zone today. So again, things looking pretty good. Now let's get over here to AMD, the one that, it just can't seem to get its stuff together. But is it time? This I really like. We've been sitting and accumulating in a demand zone. So that would be the green zone here. And as long as we're holding in here, I want to think accumulation. Now, accumulation is not for all traders. It's not about if, it's about when. I do believe price is going to move up, but you could be sitting here for a while. I like the idea of a longer term at the money or in the money calls into earnings. Okay, so again, you would need to come in here and find out when their earnings are going to be. So let's come back here just a little bit right here. And we have our earnings coming in on 128. All right, so about a month out. I really like the idea of this. So about a month out, we're accumulating and we could see a push up towards this cloud and this trendy edge. So we could see prices 129 to 135. I like the risk to reward here. If you don't want to hedge this trade, I don't want to see closes below this low over here at 117 and some change. If you want to hedge this trade, this is like my bread and butter. This is like my favorite type of setup is I go long at the money or in the money and I buy a lot of time, 6+ months at least. And then we would hedge it to the downside with a put debit spread. So again, long term, my target's 133, 141, and then upwards of 150 to 160. That's long term. Okay. And you can see by the ATR over here, this baby can move $30 a month. All right. But if you want to hedge it, if we get weakness in the market, you could see AMD move down to the 112.75 level. I'd rather buy this now that prices are starting to pick up, or maybe on a day or two of strength. Buy the idea of put debit spreads to the downside. And what you're trying to do is finance the long term swing trade. Now, I'm going to give you a big disclaimer here. I personally don't want to put on a lot of trades right before the first. So I'm transferring I talked about this in the session today. I'm transferring some of my long-term positions into my Ashley account, as I call it. So like our family account, I'm putting those over there, and then trying to start with a just a zero PL, if you will, in my API account that gets sent straight to the room and so forth. That's just like a mental thing for me, like a reset, if you will. But overall, this is what I'm seeing. Neutral to bullish on these guys. I like the fact that AMD is sitting in demand zone. It is taking its time. I like that Nvidia is showing some strength over the weekly. SM, SMH, right? There's a lot of moving factors there. It looks kind of stuck until it's not between those two levels that I gave you. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Have a beautiful day, and we'll see you soon.